Hi, welcome to Open House for 2020-2021. I'm going to go through the slideshow. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your classroom teacher on Dojo. I'm Miss Galanti, and here we go. I figured out how to do it. Okay, curriculum. So curriculum for this year is a little different than years past. For ELA, known as English Language Arts, we are using, for comprehension foundational skills in writing, we're using Florida Virtual School. This is an online interactive program that we do through our TV in our classroom. We go through it together as a class, and then we'll have additional time for both independent work and small groups. The kids are capable of going through this at home if for some reason they're not at school. They can go onto their MyPassable Connect through their funky password, just like they did in Q4 last year, and they can go into Language Arts and look through the modules. So they can continue working at home for some reason if they are not at school. But in school, we do it together as a whole class, and then we separate parts of it into independent work or small group work. For science and social studies, we're also using Florida Virtual School, though in science, we do mix some science experiments in there. Go ahead and ask the kids. We did a really cool gummy bear experiment, and this week we're going to end up doing a really cool balloon and vinegar experiment. For math, we use Eureka Math. Eureka Math, I know, is very different than when we, as adults, went to school. The way we teach math this year, since kindergarten, because they've been using this program since kindergarten. The way that we teach it is very different than the way we learned. We are doing a lot of hands-on, working with manipulatives to help get that understanding, and then going into a deeper conceptual understanding of the concepts we're teaching. So far, we have taught addition and subtraction within 120 using friendly tens, and we have done measurements using centimeters. We are now moving into comparing numbers up to 1,000. Okay, grades. This one's really big for me. There is something I always tell all of my students is that there is no failing in my class. There's no failing in second grade. If they do not pass an assignment or pass a test, it's not failing. It is just them showing me that they need more opportunity and more time to learn the skill that we've been going over. Grades are given on all work that is submitted. Sometimes grades are given upon participation, whether they completed the work and participated in the learning. If they did complete the work and they participated in the learning, but they got some of it wrong, that's okay. I go around and take notes as we're learning or as I collect their papers. And I take notes of which kids missed which problems or which kids didn't understand what concepts, so that I can pull in a smaller group to make sure that they really have that information down before moving on to the next. Other times grades are given, this is mainly on assessments based on proficiency. So if they got 3 out of 4 questions right, they would get a 75%. But remember, even if they were to get a lower grade, that does not mean that they are failing. That just means they need more time to master the skill. My goal is to teach them. And if they don't understand the concept or skill by the time we assess on a test, that doesn't mean, oh, sorry, you don't get it, we're moving on. That just means that I'm pulling you in a small group and we're going to get it because you need to get this information, and we're going to continue to work together until you have that. Come progress reports and, well, come progress reports, it says, which you should have just gotten a progress report. It says meeting standards or not meeting standards, but come report cards, which our quarter ends on October 16th. Come report cards, you'll have an either E, S, N, or U. E stands for exceeds expectations, like they are above grade level. S stands for satisfactory, so they are on grade level and working well. N stands for needs improvement, so they are still working. They're really, really trying in class, but they're not quite there yet. They just need more time to master the skill. Again, remember, an N's not a failing grade. There are no failing grades in our class. And then U, unsatisfactory, does mean they are far below, but we are working together in order to try to bridge that gap. This year's hard. There is a big gap with the whole county, because we did miss basically fourth quarter. Even if working online is not the same as working here in the classroom, and a lot of adults and children struggled with that. So we are trying to bridge those gaps made from missing that whole fourth quarter of first grade. I keep looking at my picture in the corner, so I apologize. Homework. Homework is sent home with students on Fridays because we like to give you guys the weekends if you want to start it on the weekend, because we know that the school week can get hectic. We know that a lot of things of people's lives have returned to normal. So there's been like baseball practice, dance classes, or just sometimes you're tired. We spend all day here growing our brain. Sometimes you are too tired to do homework when you get home. I understand. I feel the same way when I get home from school sometimes. So we give homework on that Friday, and it's due back the next Friday morning. So homework is given on graded on participation. So they get a dojo point if they do participate on the homework. Then they have a reading log. This is actually the homework going home tomorrow. Then they have a reading log. So for every 30 minutes read on the reading log, they get 2 steps. So it's 1 step for every 15 minutes. For every step they get, we record that on the computer, and when they get to 100 steps, they'll get an award and a prize, because reading is the best way to help bridge these gaps in reading achievement. Attendance. Remember that attendance is crucial to learning and succeeding in school. Though, especially in current times, if your child is sick and not able to make it to school, please submit their absence on our school webpage so that we know why they are absent. Also, if your child is going to be out for a prolonged amount of time, whether that be an emergency in the family, traveling, or health reasons, let us know. We can either connect you to the online learning platform so the kids can continue learning from home, or we can get work together. So work for prolonged absences is available upon request. You'll just have to contact your child's teacher and make sure that you guys are on the same page for coming to pick it up and such. Student self-screener. Don't forget to complete the student self-screener daily before coming to school. If you're not sure if you should send your child to school because of something going on, go ahead and send me a dojo. I know a few times that I've had kids with sniffly noses and they're like, can I send them to school? It's just allergies. I'm like, yes, if it is just allergies, yes, you can send them to school. So I know that allergy season's coming. My allergies get horrible. I know that there are certain things coming up that might cause a snuffy nose or a little bit of a tickle in your throat, and that doesn't mean anything further. So you, as a parent, are just being very aware of your child's health, and we're going to monitor their health at school too, but please just do a self-screener on your child before sending them to school to help protect everybody. Quarantine process. So if you are sent home or you need to quarantine, like due to either a test positive or showing symptoms, or just you were around somebody else that maybe tested positive and you want to quarantine for health reasons, you can still be marked present here in school as long as you're still participating in learning. Our quarantine is 10 days, so that's 2 weeks of school, and it's crazy to think to miss 2 weeks of school. It's a lot of school missed. So if you are continuing to work, at home, whether on the online platform through My Learning or through paper copies of the activities that we were doing in the classroom, then your student can continue to be marked present. Parent-teacher conferences. I'm about to set up a Sign Up Genius link, and I will post it on Dojo for my class, for Ms. Galante's class. All other classes, please contact your child's teacher through Dojo if you want a parent-teacher conference. Parent-teacher conferences can be done either through a phone call or Zoom this year. If none of the times available for me on my Sign Up Genius are work for you, please contact me and we can work something out. I'm very, very flexible. But at the same time, I don't want to sit at school all night waiting for that one parent-teacher conference that is at like 6 o'clock at night, if we can be flexible around that. If that is the only time that works for you because of your work schedule, then that is a-okay, and I will make that work. We will make that work together, because I know that this is a partnership that you and I together help create the education for your child. So I am here for you. Dojo. Our whole class behavior plan is Dojo. The kids have been using Dojo since kindergarten. Students earn Dojo points on a daily basis for doing numerous things around school and on campus. It can be for making good decisions, being kind, helping our friends, following directions, being a hallway hero, and many more actions inside and even outside of the classroom. Students then get to cash in their Dojo points for candy or treasure box items, or use a fancy pen, or bring a stuffed animal to class, or free time. They get to earn it up kind of like dollars, and then they get to spend them in our school stores. It's all electronic this year. In years past, I've had physical dollars that I give the kids because we do go over money later in second grade, so that's a good startup for them. But due to the virus, it is all physical, like debit card. And that's why you'll be getting Dojo notifications at home. Just like, this person cashed in 15 Dojo points for a piece of candy. So I have a list that says for 5 Dojo points, you can get a cool eraser. For 10, you can get a pencil. For 15, you can get a piece of candy. For 20, you can write with a fancy pen. 25 is pick a class job for the day. That one's popular. 30 is treasure box, and it goes through a bunch of things. So those are the awesome rewards that your students can be earning with good behavior throughout the day. We also have our Connect the Dot Firehawk, where we practice one skill. Right now, our skill is transitioning and completing our work without making unnecessary noise. We have a lot of friends in here that just like to hum and make noise, which is fine. I'm also a hummer and a singer when doing things. But when we have 16 kids all doing that at the same time, it gets a little loud. So every time that we do a transition or we complete an activity without that constant noise, we get a Connect the Dot. When we finish our Connect the Dot, we earn a prize that we all voted on in our class meeting. This week, it's a pizza party, so I hope we get it soon. Again, that's for my class, because this is going to other classes than just mine. But the pizza party is for my specific class. But your classroom teacher also has a really cool prize when you do the Connect the Dot. Okay, social distancing and cohorts. In Pasco County Schools, we're doing what's considered cohorts. So your child's classroom is a cohort. We do not intermingle classrooms. We stay in our classroom with our friends in our classroom all day. We do not do recess together. We do all eat in the same cafeteria, but we have our assigned spots in the same cafeteria, so we have our own tables. We are mixing best practice education, such as working collaboratively and communicating about our learning. And for example, today I brought them to the carpet area for story, where we do actually get within the 6 feet distance. Also, there are 16 kids in a classroom. We tend to get in each other's personal bubbles a little. We do work really hard on extending your arms out and making sure that we don't have people that we can touch there. But when not possible, we wear our masks in the classroom, which I currently don't have that on because I'm the only person in the classroom. But we wear our masks in the classroom, and we make sure that they're covering our mouth and our nose when we're working together. Also, we have advanced cleaning. So when using manipulatives that are the same, the other day we did a science experiment where they touched magnets. We hand sanitized in between every person touching the magnet so that the germs wouldn't go from one person to the next via the magnet. So we do take these necessary precautions to make sure that we are social distancing, but we are still learning within our cohorts. So we do spend some time a little closer together so that we have the best chance at a good mix of social distance and best educational practices to make sure we're learning. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your classroom teacher on Dojo. We are here for you, and we are happy to be in this partnership with you. Thank you.